What's going on, everybody? It's Blandon here again, and this is part 6 of the 6-part series on new builds. Now that you have a property under contract, it's time to put in some real work, and that's due diligence, also known as DD. DD number 1, and this is the most important one, that is to get a good lawyer on your team, which is going to do pretty much 80% of the work. I like lawyers who are experienced investors themselves and they might have already bought a new build before. What's even better is if you can get a lawyer like Harvey Specter who will bring you the deal.
I don't take meetings, I set them.
Okay, those probably don't exist in New Zealand. Now, the lawyer's main objective is actually to reduce your risk on whatever you're going to be signing. They will often suggest conditions that's going to actually put you in the best position if something were to go wrong. They will also be very good to help you understand all the jargon in the stack of contract that you have signed. DD number 2, the developer's background. It's a good idea to do a background check on any developers or projects that you're going to be investing in. Check out the past projects that they might have done and do some due diligence on that. Renders can be deceiving. So the ideal scenario is that you can go to a completed project to actually see what the build looks like. You can have a better understanding of the quality of that development and possibly try to compare those past projects with some of the past materials that they use to sell the property. See if there's a big discrepancy there. Also understand not all developers own their own construction company. More often than not, the developers team and the construction team are two different companies. So you can apply the same theory if you understand who the construction company is going to be and go check out some of those past projects to check out the quality. You can also investigate how long some of those past projects took to actually build. Do some Googling, see if there were any articles around any contractual agreement problems that they might have in the past or any mismanagement as well. And the third point I want to make is you want to check out what stage the development is in, because this is going to give you a better understanding of the actual estimation on when it might finish. Say, for example, if the resource consent has not even been lodged, it could take closer to 2 years for that project to finish. And if the building consent has been issued, it might just take less than a year for that to complete. If you want a better understanding of how the process works for a developer and the stages that they go through, check out one of the videos in the link below. So DD number 3, some important clauses that you can put in your contract. Now, what if the development never finished? How are you going to get your money back? This is where a sunset clause becomes very useful. A sunset clause allows the buyer to actually withdraw the deposit if the development don't make enough progress by a certain date. Another concern for buyers is often if their circumstances change, how do they get their finance? What's their backup plan to get away from that? This is where an on-sale clause becomes very beneficial. On-sale clause basically allows the buyer to sell the property, to sell the contract to someone else later on. Most developers will allow you to do this, but they might have a condition in there and not allow you to sell that property for less than what you bought it for, because this might affect some of the new buyers and some of the valuations on the properties that's already been sold. Another clause that you can have in there is the variation on the proposed land or floor size area. Sometimes when you buy a property off the plan, the resource consent hasn't been lodged yet, or they actually haven't had all the feedback from the council, and some changes might need to be made. So the plans are not actually final. So having this clause allows you to have a bit of price adjustments or even cancellation on agreements if what they end up building is not really exactly what you have agreed on. If the floor area changed, then perhaps you can reduce the price accordingly, or if it was just ridiculous, you can just cancel the contract altogether. So be sure to ask your lawyer about some of these clauses when you do sign an agreement. Now, if you're needing a bit of guidance on whether or not you can borrow the money to buy a new build or sort of better understanding on the process, do not hesitate to reach out to us at support@mhq.co.nz. I'll see you guys in the next video.